Sorry, guys. My Dailyo diary app really it kind of gave a notification, but I was just saying that people like to talk about how you need to get a credit card, build your credit up so you can buy things. But for me, it's like if I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna buy it in cash, and boom, buy that in cash, buy the house in cash, and not have to worry about just buying things on credit because you got to pay that off, and the companies make money on your interest. So it's like I'm not getting down that rabbit hole. And in addition to that, people say you got to get married and have kids, and it's like I'm gonna stay single and save up as much as I can and keep that freedom. And same with the girlfriend thing. It's like I'm gonna stay focused on you know um, not having a girlfriend and just focus on my goals. And so there's a lot of things that you can manifest. People say it's impossible, but you can manifest anything that you set your mind to. You create your own reality. And it might sound crazy, but it's just when you have faith in your goals and you have this idea of where you want to be and where you want to go, then that can manifest into reality. You create your own reality every single day, you know, and the habits that you manifest, can manifest to anything. I mean, like for example, this 30-day challenge, I mean, I take a look at cold showers. I mean, before, like I said, any little stray from the hot shower, I was cold. Even lukewarm, I was cold. But now it's like I can actually tolerate that cold water, and even for example, the muscles I'm gaining on my biceps. I mean, I never would have thought I would have gotten any strength there. You know, growing up my entire life, my arms were sticks. But it's like I did the weights and I worked my way up, and I was able to get higher. I mean, we had weights at home, but it was like 3 pounds. I worked my way up from 5 to 8 to 10. I even did 12 today, and 12 is a little bit heavy, but just like little by little, and you can manifest these things that people always say, oh, it's impossible, it's impossible, but nothing's impossible when you set your mind to it, and you can attract anything that you want into your reality. And that's something that I recognize where people where you can eventually, when you practice mindfulness enough, you'll see things before other people see them. The fear that picks up, and I think I mentioned yesterday about the fire that happened here, um, and the way I reacted to it was not how people usually react. People panic. The news loves to show panic and fear and terror, and because that sells things. But what I noticed was just my reaction to it, and the uncertainty. Right? People talk about how there's uncertainty and you um, can't know how things are going to go down. But it's like if you have faith and what's going to happen, it's a test. And that's what I saw. I remember seeing the flames outside of the patio windows, and I told myself, and I knew that it was a test, and that it was a test from the universe, and I had faith that nothing was going to happen. And guess what, guys? Nothing happened. At least to us, anyways. Unfortunately for the other guys, not so much. But I just had faith that I knew that it was overhyped. It was fake news. And I grew up with the media, always overblowing things and making things seem so dramatic, when the reality of the situation is things aren't as dramatic as they seem. So, people see stuff in the movies and they say, "Oh, I never thought that would happen to me," because you didn't have faith that create that into your reality. So it's like a lot of things that I grew up with TV, watching so many movies, and I drowned myself in that just to escape. But the idea is that the movies hype things up so much, and I think I watched a video about that where it's like you in a relationship, you know, Hollywood loves to show relationships as all this stuff, but reality is not the case. And so it's just like the fire, they dramatize it so much, but it's like if you know what's going to happen before it happens, you can attract that into your reality. something I've been thinking over the last few days or so. Um, yeah, I mean, the routine today was great. I kept deleting stuff off SoundCloud. I had SoundCloud for the last 4 years or so. A lot of great music on there that I discovered, but I've been cleaning it up because I've been trying to focus on what I'm putting into my mind and how that's creating my reality, especially with music. Just a lot of the lyrics were kind of negative about drugs. You guys know SoundCloud rappers, right? The bad rap they get about the fact they rap about Xanax and lean and all these kind of drugs. And I just kind of listened to the music and I was like, wow, some of this stuff is violent, some of this stuff is very aggressive and talking about drugs. So I don't really need that in my life anymore because I want to kind of clean my mind up, clean the subconscious mind. And that's what I did. I had my lunch and I actually had some of the cornbread, some of the little meat. I didn't actually need too much because, like, right now, I feel a little bit hungry, but not so much. And that's by the end of the day. And it's crazy. I haven't eaten since maybe about close to 11 o'clock, and I still feel satiated. Before I was so caught up in just eating, and so, like I said, guys, for lunch I'd have like 3 tacos, and the tacos would be huge tacos, and I just overload my plate at lunch, and then for dinner maybe I have like 2 tacos with French fries on it, and all this stuff. It tastes great, but I didn't need all that food. I never felt hungry anymore because I ate so much food, and it was kind of a struggle because I knew that I was eating a little bit too much, and I was gaining stuff. I was gaining weight, to be honest. But this intermittent fasting is just teaching me that I don't need as much food, and my body still runs pretty well. I might need a little bit towards the evening as fuel after the workout, which I did go to. I was pretty quiet today, but I was at Planet Fitness and I did 8 pounds and then I did a bit of 12 pounds. 12 pounds was a little bit heavy, but it was a test. And I was watching Albert on, and he has some great videos if you guys haven't checked him out. And then I ended up, I left, and then I kept reading. I finished the Modern Mindfulness, which I enjoyed. A lot of great tips, and I was aware of quite a lot, but there's a lot of great applicable things in life, and I think I'm gonna take that with me. Not create post-it notes, but just take the book with me as a guidebook. So when I'm outside, I can practice the different mindfulness exercises they have in there. And I ended up taking the 315 or 325 over to Carlsbad, and I did my meditation by the fountain. It was very peaceful. And I walked over to Fahrenheit 451 Books, and I did find some books that were about the universe, and that's what I've been trying to look for. And I'm thinking about buying that next week. Um, and then there's one book actually that is actually I've seen it at Barnes and Nobles for a higher price, but I can get it lower because it's used. I'm gonna definitely invest in those books about the universe so I can open my mind up to the reality that I live in, that what I can manifest. And so the bookstore is really nice. I've been there before. It's pretty stacked with books. I'm glad it's open. They got a good spiritual section there. As you guys know, the coastal areas in this area in San Diego, they're very into like spiritualism and whatnot. And it's great because it fits in with what I want to learn about. Um, I definitely tested my social anxiety. There's so many people in Carlsbad. It's a tourist destination. People come from all over. But just walking down the streets, it's like there's so many people, and it's just testing my confidence, trying to remain calm and not worry about what people are thinking as they walk by. And I'm trying to maintain that confident posture, but in the back of my head, it's like there's so many people, and it's just trying to gain that awareness of what's my posture like, what's my mind looking like. And I made it. I did a confident posture, and I just tried not to think too much about what people thought. It was definitely a test. As people walked by and people got close, I was like, because usually I'm used to like maybe passing by a handful of people, at the bus or the transit station. That's a good place to start. But this is like there's so many people to test. And so I ended up going over to Encinitas to check out the bookstore over there, a used bookstore, and I did find a better really good section. A couple business books, how to how to win friends and influence people by Carnegie, which I'm definitely gonna check out. There's a couple other books on the shelf that I'll check out, or buy anyways, probably next week. I only have one more book left by Napoleon Hill. How to, man, what's that? I Think Rich and Grow, uh, Think and Grow Rich. I think that's the name of the book. Very popular. So I got that book to check out or to read from Barnes and Nobles. But the books are a great investment. I'm definitely going to apply that to school and work. I have this business idea that I've been working on for the last for a while now, actually, and I think I'm going to really start that this summer. Um, so yeah, I definitely saw those books there, and I walked over to shoot some hoops, and I was listening to more Albert on, and I just tried to pay attention to what I was doing. There's a lot of people, so in the back of my head, it's like that's social anxiety, but I just gotta stay focused, and so I ended up coming back on the bus. I felt a little bit uneasy, little bit of rise in anxiety, right? But the thing is that it crashes and then it rises up. But every time I experience it, I realize that it goes away. The anxiety, the fear subsides eventually. It doesn't last forever. It's not like a constant. Sometimes it lasts longer because the the less you practice mindfulness and meditation, the longer it lasts. But the more you practice, the more you get healthier. You eat right. Maybe you take the vitamins. You get enough sleep. The less the thoughts bother you, and the more aware you are. So it's like you just keep watching it rise and fall, rise and fall. Eventually, it doesn't bother you as much. And it's very powerful to notice that, because then you realize that, it's not going to last forever. It's not something to be like, oh my God, the fear, the fear. That's what I used to be like, where I latched onto the fear and I was like holding on to it. But all I have to do is just let it go. And so the more I practice the mindfulness, the more I just kind of let go of all that tension. I listen to the subconscious theta waves, isochronic tones, and that just eased myself. I read the book and I was so focused on the book. And then, by the time I got to Oceanside Transit or Coast Highway, I was feeling very much more relaxed. And that's when I had the epiphany about the present moment. And when I'm cultivating mindfulness, all the stuff about the past, all the stuff about the future doesn't really matter. The past doesn't exist and the future doesn't exist at that present moment. The only thing that exists is right now. So if you apply that to the things you do every day, then all the stuff about the past, all the mistakes you possibly made, and the future, all the stuff that, you don't know what's going to happen, you're afraid. But that doesn't exist at this present moment. So if you just stay grounded, then none of that stuff bothers you. And you just keep staying grounded in everything you do. What are you doing at the present moment? Are you brushing your teeth? Are you taking a shower? Are you trying to sleep? As long as you stay focused on the present moment, then none of that stuff is going to sway you. It's gonna try to distract you. All you have to do is revert your attention back every single time, and just keep doing that. Keep doing that. And eventually you can train your brain to stay focused. It's a little bit tricky, I won't deny that, because we're so used to focusing on what we have to do. Oh, we have to do this and that. But eventually we can center ourselves. So yeah, it was definitely a great revelation that I made. And then I ended up coming back home, and I took another cold shower. Like I said, it's not really affecting me as much with the cold showers, and of course the vlog. Like I said, I told myself that today was going to be a good day. There was a little bit of hesitation, but overall today was a pretty solid day. I finished the mindful book. I did some weights. I went up, a weightage, and then I went to the bookstores and I found some of the books I was looking for, about law of attraction. I can't remember if I found The Secret, Maybe I did, but I found something about the law of attraction. So it's like that's what I was looking for. Maybe that was a manifestation. I was looking for it, and I had those positive vibrations. Boom! I found a book. You know, um, and then I did some basketball, and I was making some good shots today. It was actually a really good day with basketball, and I tested my social anxiety. And I always have to remember that um, the powers of confidence require constant building, just like public speaking. For a while, I was doing public speaking a lot, and I got more confident, but then I stopped doing it, and I didn't consist. It's all it takes consistency and dedication, and so that's something I got to practice more. But yeah, so today was a great day, and hope you guys can realize that you know the law of attraction is real. The universe. If you want something in your life, think about what you want and have faith that it's going to manifest into reality. Keep thinking about it, and then stay present in the moment. Once you realize that the past doesn't really matter, why are you letting that haunt you? You know, all the things from the past that you regret. Don't detach yourself from that. And detach yourself from the future, all those future worries, because at the end of the day, you don't really know what's going to happen in the future. So why try to, I got to control the future. Oh my God, what's going to happen in the future? That's I think a lot of my anxiety is that I was so caught up in the future, like what am I going to do in the future and whatnot, and the existential crisis. But if you have faith, then that keeps you grounded. The law of attraction is powerful. You can manifest anything you want into reality, no matter what it seems impossible. Because a lot of things people always say, oh, that's impossible. There's no way that can happen, yada, yada, yada. The reality is, anything is possible when you have this power. You retain, you build yourself, and you attract those positive energy into your life. And it's powerful stuff. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys for day 30 of the Self Transformation Challenge.